Okay, so Christina, congratulations on winning the Effective Burn Care Award at this year's JWC Awards. Congratulations, it's an amazing achievement. Please could you describe the work that you and your team have done, which resulted in receiving this amazing award?
So for me, really, it was more of a combination of many projects that have spanned many years, and in fact, probably feels a little bit more like a lifetime achievement award for me rather than a point in time award. So it was multiple projects that actually were nominated in one. A lot of the prevention work, a lot of educational work, ambassadorial work, all kind of culminated in one. So really, my participation in events like the National Burn Awareness Day, which is an annual event across the burn care community, the webinars that we ran for the Child Safety Week. I wrote a children's book on burns, which was called The Family Oops and Burns First Aid. So that was one of the items also nominated. I've spent my whole career supporting education for pre-hospital healthcare professionals, emergency trauma professionals who care for burn survivors in the very early moments and hours of their injury, because we realize that actually it's those first moments and hours that can impact quite significantly the long-term outcomes for our patients. So a lot of my work has also been in the fire, paramedicine and emergency department sectors too, to enhance education and understanding of burn care in those environments. I've also created an educational burns game. It's a board game called The Burns Game. That has capacity for professionals who work outside of the burn care or in burn care to play and learn alongside their teammates or about initial stages of care of burn injured casualties. Published Saving Lives is Not Enough report, which dedicates its space to the fire service and then the impact that they can have on the burn survivor's journey as well. So a lot of our work was to do with fire service and getting them to understand actually that they have capacity to deliver first aid, which can be quite essential in reducing the depth and size of the burn injury and actually improves the outcomes for burn survivors as well. There are multiple contents that I've submitted for as well. So app contents and modules, creations for kind of online e-learning modules. So it's, as you can see, it's an awful lot of work all together that culminated in this nomination for the award. And there are almost too many to name by name each one. So I'm just grateful that it was recognized, and hopefully every day and every month and every new generation of clinicians will benefit from the work that we've put in over the last 20 years.
Wow, that's actually fascinating. A board game, a book. Wow. It's limitless, isn't it? The possibilities. That's really inspiring. Totally. And your passion just overflows. So honestly, well deserved. And how do you think that winning this award will affect your work in the future?
I think for me personally, it feels like a kind of a summary point, the summit point of my burn care career. I'm not sure necessarily I will take this award forward into burn care, but certainly having that recognition and having the support of my peers was very meaningful for me. I never expected to receive it. I never expected to be nominated. So it's just it's a lovely feeling to have the award. Of course it is. But as we know, recovery from any kind of injury, surgery, trauma, it's never linear, and burn care is not linear in any way. It's always been a team concept. So I can't take the full credit for the award because I am a summary point of many clinicians, many mentors, many educators who've invested their time in me. in me learning my craft and me learning how to support my patients, and so many patients who've allowed me to learn alongside of them. So really the effective burn care is only possible as a culmination of the effort by all the clinicians, therapists, educators, even our industry and charity partners, the burn survivors themselves, their families, our wider communities and support networks. No efficacy can really be achieved in isolation. So there's really no care without those who care for and about us. So for burn survivors, recovery is never simply physical, functional, psychological. At its core, the recovery after burn injury is very social. So it takes a team to impact a life worth living after burn injury. So I can only be grateful for the recognition, but actually the Effective Burn Care Award belongs to all the individuals who've come on this lifelong journey to recovery after burns, to every burn survivor and every family who's been affected by burns.
That was so wonderfully put, Christina. Wow. Almost brought a tear to my eye. I know you've already touched upon it, but to put it like concisely, what would you say is the most important aspect of your work and why?
I think ultimately we're trying to do ourselves out of a job. Really, that would be the pinnacle of our all efforts. So the most important aspect of all of our work in burn care is prevention. If we prevent the injury from ever becoming severe, from ever happening, that means that there is no child living with the lifelong consequences of burn scarring. There is no family that maybe lost a loved one, or maybe there's no teenager who's now having to live with the consequences of visible difference and the societal pressures and the damage that that can do. So burn prevention, so that the burn care and life-changing impact of burns never needs to be our reality. We must just double our efforts towards the truly effective burn care.
And what would you say are the main challenges that you are currently facing?
Personally, it's the challenge of time, the limit of time. Many of my projects were always done in my own time outside of my day job. So for me, burn care has been my passion and my hobby. And yet nationally, the specialist burn services are struggling with recruitment and retention. So the challenge for the burn care profession is how to attract the young generations of healthcare professionals into our wonderful speciality. So really, this award is a great way to highlight all the amazing things, just the list of the reasons why that nomination maybe rang true to the judging panel, is because burn care is so versatile. We can educate and do the prevention work and do ambassadorial work and work with many charities in order to highlight the prevention of burns in the home, the importance of burns first aid, the really exciting clinical aspects of care that are happening at the bedside every day in all of our national burn services. So really the challenge is to make others love, other healthcare professionals love burn care as much as we love burn care, so that our patients and their families benefit.
Amazing. And just to end on a very positive note this Friday, what advice would you give to wound care practitioners and researchers who are aspiring to make a positive impact?
A little bit like Patch Adams said, if you treat the disease, you win, you lose. If you treat the person, you win every time. So the advice would be, if you keep the patient, their experience, their long-term quality of life outcomes at your heart, you can't go wrong. We must never forget who we do what we do for.
Oh, that was amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm just going to stop the recording now.